Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Fixing Your Kanban, brought to you by Agile FOR Humans and ProKanban.org. ProKanban.org is the premier place to go to get Kanban training and services. All right, guys, how are we doing this week? Of course, we got Todd Miller and Daniel Vacanti, fellow Pro Kanban trainers, and of course, Dan, the originator of many of the ideas that we talk about week to week. How are we doing, boys?
Hello, Ryan. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I love your show.
Yeah, thank you. Good to hear you, Dan. Go ahead. That you finally made it through on the phone lines, and can't wait for your question. No, Todd, how are you doing, buddy?
I really appreciate being around Dan. So what? Why is you guys laughing?
Because I was waiting for the barb, and instead I think you're doing some reverse psychology. Dan,
you're freaking me out, man.
Danger, false sense of security here. You know what? This week we're going to continue our theme. Last week we did kind of a quick survey, a quick discussion about WIP limits, and I think we were able to pull together a few good ideas there, and hopefully we inspired people to check out the Kanban guide at kanbanguides.org and really dig into why WIP limits really help a team create a pull system and why they're required for Kanban. This week, I think we're going to go into some throughput. So again, Dan, I hope you don't mind being put on the spot, but last week I think you did a nice job of giving the overview, and then we'll try to ask some reasonable questions, some decent questions. And but yeah, when it comes to throughput, what are kind of the swing thoughts here? What are the things that as you help teams with establish throughput, start measuring it, start managing to it? What are the things that you're thinking about, and just why is this one so important?
Yeah. So first of all, there's not many things that are required when you go and read the Kanban guides, which everybody has, of course, has read the Kanban guide by now. There are not many things required, but the few things that are required is that you track these four metrics. Work in progress being the first one, being one of the first ones, throughput being the next one. And the reason I wanted to go with throughput is it's one that doesn't necessarily, unless you're in the theory of constraints crowd, which we won't talk about theory of constraints here, but unless you're in the theory of constraints crowd, throughput doesn't get a lot of love in the Kanban world. And it's of, I would argue, crucial importance, especially when you want to answer the question, when will it be done for multiple items? So, we've got a backlog of, 100 items in it, or, we've got a release coming up in a couple months, and we want to know, hey, when will these 100 items be done? How many items can I get done, in the next 5 sprints, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Throughput is the metric that is going to help us answer that question. And the reason that throughput helps us answer that question is because it's a rate. It's the rate at which we're getting work done. And it's defined as the amount of, or the number of work items that I'm going to say exit your process, the number of work items that exit your process per unit of time. So if you'll forgive me, Ryan, I just need to say 30 seconds more, maybe.
Yeah, you're good.
Fundamental thing when you're defining metrics in Kanban is you need to have a point at which you consider work to have started, and you need to have a point at which you consider work to have finished. If you don't have those two things, forget about it. Go do that first. Once you have that, now we can start talking metrics. Anything between those 2 points is considered work in progress. Any work between those 2 points is considered work in progress. That's the first video. The number of items that cross that finish line per unit of time is throughput. And that unit of time can be whatever you want. It can be days, can be weeks, can be months, can be sprints, can be whatever you want. So sorry I rambled there, Ryan.
No, that's great. And so for the viewers here, a lot of you come from a Scrum background. We would consider this the number of items completed during a sprint could be called throughput. Is that fair, Dan?
It is fair, but that's not the only. That's not
just
the only
one
measure.
of many different ways to define.
But absolutely,
it.
absolutely, that is a throughput metric. Yep.
Great.
I have a question on this, Dan. So, you say it lends itself to helping us. We need throughput to give an answer to when will it be done. But throughput isn't the only thing we use to give that answer.
Sounds like you want to say something else. What else? I mean, you're right. But
here's what I want a cautionary tale is that just because you have throughput doesn't mean that you can do funky things with throughput to answer that question. Yes. That's why the long pause. I drawed it out. I was waiting to see what your response was. But what I'm really looking for here is we want the people that are watching this not to walk away with the fact that you can just take throughput and answer when will it be done. There's more that that needs to happen for that, for you to answer that question for multiple items.
Exactly right. Yeah. Again, Todd coming out of nowhere to drop some knowledge on us.
There's my 2 a year.
No, and that's why we look at these 4 metrics kind of as a whole, because you're right. Throughput in a vacuum is absolutely, I wouldn't say absolutely meaningless. It's fairly meaningless. It's why we started with WIP last week, is because if you're looking at throughput without really looking at WIP, then you don't really know if you have a stable system. And then at that point, you're using throughput to try and make any types of forecasts will be misleading at best, and probably disastrous at worst. So you're exactly right, Todd.
So this is a really good buildup, right? So week 1, we talk about WIP limits. That helps us get to a stable system. That helps us get to predictability. Week 2, now we talk about throughput, which is number of items completed over a given period of time. And if we have a stable system, this could become reliable, which means now forecasting is possible.
Exactly right. Yep. And just to make sure people, and reliable, I love the word reliable. Reliable is correct. It doesn't mean that it's exactly the same, right, all the times, but it's within some, agreed level of variability. Yep. Now we got a shot at being predictable. Plus, throughput is going to be a great metric for us to understand if we're improving over time. That's probably another video in itself, but that's another kind of aspect of throughput as well.
Yeah, but I think this is a good intro, and I hope that those out there who are kind of curious now that, oh, wait a minute, I've got my system stabilized, I'm looking at throughput. How does this really help me? How does it work? I mean, it's easy to get started. Pick your start and your end point, and then measure the number of items that happen in between. So if you want to start, we put it in to do, and it eventually got to done, start there. You can get more granular, of course. You can have different types of throughputs, but let's start there. Once we have our WIP limits established, now that our system is stable, let's have a start point and end point and start gathering that. And next week, I think we're going to jump into probably, what do you think, Dan? Some cycle time?
Cycle time for sure. Cycle time it is.
And we're going to show you how cycle time then adds another layer of possibility and continue to build this idea out. So I think this is a good spot to stop this one. So be sure to check out the socials. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out past videos. As you can see, we're building up to new capabilities through these 4 Kanban metrics. Next week is cycle time. Hit that like and subscribe button so you know when we release it. Make sure that you're with us on that one. In the comments, let us know, are these videos helping? Does it make sense that WIP limits are needed and that throughput is how it's been explained, how you can get started with that quickly? Leave your questions in the comments below. Be sure to check those out as well. But for Todd and Dan, I'm Ryan Ripley. We're all professional Kanban trainers with Kanban.org. We'd love to see your questions. We'd love to see you in class. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know how we can help. And until next week, Kanabanga.